So Drake Mailhot, welcome back for another episode of Palm Harbor Local. I'm excited to chat with you again. Yeah, man, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Donnie. A lot's changed. How long has it been? Maybe like 2, 3
I should
years,
I
2
should have looked I
years?
should have looked this before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
once you,
worry.
it's probably been. Let's see. I just had one. I did one earlier this week, and he was back on for again, and it had been a year since he was on, so it's probably at least been a year because you were one of the earlier.
I
You
think
might have
it's
been
been
like,
2 years,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah, it might have been.
Wow, I thought I knew a lot then. I learned I didn't. But yeah, like, okay, so, I know this is a lot of people coming here from business, but I don't wanna jump into business this time first. I wanna talk about, maybe, a big thing for me, and it's a scary time right now. A lot of people are scared. And I've seen this. I've seen people like post on Facebook. It's like, I don't have work to look at and stuff like that. But like, now I've been leaning on a lot of faith. I've been like developing a little bit better relationship with God. And, that's really been working for me that I don't have to stress about things. I don't have to stress about where my business is going to come from because the economy is bad. Honestly, it's been so good to me that I didn't know the economy is bad. And that's a blessing. And I don't say that to brag, but I say that to say, I lean on faith instead of that panicky because if I focus on the panic, I can't get done what I need to get done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then second, oh, sorry, go
I was
ahead.
gonna
Go
say
ahead.
that. I mean, that's a really good point to touch on, right? So it's like whatever you I don't forget I forget where I heard this, but whatever you focus on expands, right? So if you focus on the negative, the news and the headlines and all that kind of stuff, like that's going to be your reality.
Yep.
So you leaning into your faith or you leaning into whatever it is that you want to lean into to keep you in that positive mindset, that right frame of mind. Um, that is that's what helps get you through
Yes.
these tough times, right? Because
Yeah.
that's life.
Yep.
All that's always going to be there.
Yeah. And fear, what
Yeah.
is fear is a conspiracy theory. But my buddy one time drew this small circle and said, "This is your control," and then drew a bigger circle around it that says concern. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. I also like to think of myself, I played sports growing up as I'm an athlete. And it's fourth quarter, I need to perform. I control the marketing. If I've slacked off on my marketing, or if I haven't done 10x of marketing, then it's going to fumble 3 months down the road. That's what I've seen. So we've been blessed. We've been 2 weeks or a week at least booked out on estimates. Um, so that's been really killer. So leaning on my faith a lot more and also like family. I've been trying to, you know, pour into my family and be present more of my family time. I don't know why it's a rumor because that's what it is. Like when you're a business owner, you got to work 24/7. That's to me, that sometimes becomes a reality, but it doesn't have to be the reality 24/7.
Right. It's
That's
like a sprint,
BS.
right? Like
Yes.
a short period of time. Like you may have to put in extra time for a season or a couple weeks, whatever it is, but that's not year after year after year. You're
Get
you're
out
gonna
of
burn
here.
you're
Yeah.
gonna burn yourself out.
There's people that's been 12 years in business still doing the same thing. And they're like, I don't want to be this bigger company. I have found the less I do, the more money we make.
Mm,
If you put me in the middle of the process or that, because you know me directly, it's going to slow everything down. So I've
yeah.
learned my teammates are better at what they do in the ticker when they hit customers. So, just trying to be being present with my family when it's time to be present. I've been getting off a little bit at 3, which is early for me instead of 7, and going to pick up my kids. I drop the kids off in the morning. So that, the faith, the family, that's been a huge blessing. And then me third. So I'm third place. Scott Bedell and me talked about it. He's like, I'm seventh place and I'm currently winning. So I come third
Yeah.
and then Southern Landscape Solutions,
Yeah.
So
What do you think like adapting those changes, right? Or leaning more into your faith, leaning more into your family. Like what how did that change for you? Was it someone that inspired you or just a shift in your mindset? Like what how did all that play out?
so yeah, so Southern Landscape Solutions been in business I've been a business owner for 12 years now. And I was getting a little burnt out and I was like, as business owner, we think we should have done these goals yesterday. And when I didn't see these goals getting to them soon enough, because I was putting all my heart and effort in it. I was like, wow, life's just going by. My kids are getting older. My family's getting older. My wife's getting, we're not spending the quality time. And like, life's just drifting by. And a big thing is Southern Landscape Solutions is not my identity. That's not who I am solely. It's a big part of me, but it's not who I was solely. And I learned by hiring better teammates, getting out of my position and freeing up my time that I could give my family that time. And it was more fulfillment in it, I guess. So
Mhm.
forget the money, forget all all what we're chasing. If you're chasing a house, if you're chasing this or that, or ego even. So forget all that. There's no fulfillment in it. God, my family, when I chase those 2 things, everything comes together.
Mhm.
My life is so easy now. I was just sitting here last week thinking, or sorry, a couple days ago, I was like, we're not booked out. We're not booked out next week. I'm getting a little scared. There's not any big jobs. And I said, I stressed myself out for about a day. And then I finally said, Lord, take this off my plate. I don't need to bear this burden. And I don't know why I didn't say this sooner, but I said those things. And look, I called my scheduler, Lindsay, and I'm like, Lindsay, I got a customer that's coming over. We don't have a lot for next week. Can we please just make sure we get this one scheduled? She said, well, I got a bunch of phone calls and people to schedule next week. So I was like, Lord, thank you so much. I stressed for no reason there for a second instead of just asking for help. And every time I've asked for help with business, he's taken it away.
Mhm. Mhm.
If my heart's in the right place and I'm asking God for help to go
Mhm.
down his path, man, business just becomes easier.
Mhm.
And I don't
Yeah.
I don't think business owners are really talking about that much.
I think it's difficult to, for business owners to ask for help,
It
right?
is.
Whatever that is for you, but, like, we think we're supposed to have it all figured out. Like, you're the owner. Like, of course,
Yep.
like, you're the leader, right? Like, you should have all the answers, but that is far from the truth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm still just
Right?
I mean, it's embarrassing. We feel like it's embarrassing to act like we don't know what we're doing. And again, I've been in business for 11 years, I think, 12 years. I still don't know what I'm doing
Yeah.
out here?
I think that's the best part about it. Like, that's one thing I've learned, since getting into real estate, since starting the podcast even more so that nobody knows. Like, the most successful people are still figuring it out one step at a time, right? They've figured some things out along the way that they put in the work and time and all that stuff, but they're still learning new things, right? And then you transition to a new business or new industry, and then you're starting over.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like, again, the identity, if you need to go start a new company, Southern's not me, and people may know me for Southern, but
Yeah.
again, that's 4th place in my book.
Mhm.
And just, like, not knowing and stuff like that, again, just leaning on God's really just fast tracked all this. But let me go back to new teammates.
Yeah.
So I used to do the marketing, the designing, the sales, and the answering phone and the scheduling. Now that's a 4-person job now, and we're pumping out work faster. So I got a salesman that's collecting all this money. We just had a $250,000 month. We've never had that. So that's a projections of over $2 million. We're chasing $3 million company now, which in landscaping, that's very hard to do.
Mhm.
We're selling legal plants, not illegal plants. So, that's hard to do. But trusting my teammates and releasing stuff that I still try to hold on to,
Yeah.
that's been a little bit difficult,
Yeah,
you know?
tell me more about that, 'cause that's a hard piece for a lot of business owners. I was talking to somebody, it might have been some other real estate agents that they're, looking to grow their team, and they were talking about, like, different parts of their business or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, I can't let go of that," you
Yep.
know? I'm like, "Man, if you wanna grow, like, you have to, right?"
Yeah. It was that passion, the passion becomes in it, but if you're in business, it's about making money. It's not about so that's why I've held on to the design piece. I like the design piece. It lets me feel like a kid because I get to dream up these backyards, make them crazy. I just did a like a crooked, there's they're artificial turf with stepping stones in the middle of them with like artificial turf running, breaking each individual. I did a rectangle square design. It looks super sick. It's so close to being sold. James is gonna sell it. I'm just waiting, but I'm excited about the marketing. But like I hang on to that, but I know down the road I'm gonna have to release it. and it's gonna be
Yeah,
hard. It's like
yeah,
a breakup, you
yeah.
know?
Right.
God, even sales and scheduling, like, it started when I hired Beth, our office manager. Lindsay is sales support. James is sales. And now we're looking to add a new operations manager. He hasn't accepted the job yet, but I'm excited if he does. And those pieces of the puzzle, those individuals are such professionals at what they do. I'm excited, but again, it's still hard to give this stuff up, you know?
Mhm.
So it's just been a little bit adapting. I know the more I give up, the more money we make because that's the new motto I've been kind of going by.
Nice.
Less I do.
What do you do to, like, what's your mindset? I'm like, I have to get this up. Is it that, like, if I want to grow, like, I need to release this?
Yeah, well, okay, so I said there's so looking forward in the future, now I have a salesperson, and now we're gonna be looking at building a sales team, leads. Now I'm doing leads. Now I'm studying SEO. Like,
Yeah,
you can go hire an SEO company, but, like, how do you know what SEO company is good?
yeah. You gotta learn some pieces of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, so I said, "I'm gonna go deep dive into it." I've been pretty good at marketing, my videos get some hits. I've slowed down on videos lately because I've been focused on sales, but I'm gonna get back into the videos, have a bunch of videos going out, but I wanna make sure my SEO with Google's there because I feel like that's where the real money's to be made,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I just wanna learn a new skill, and that's what new teammates I've had to fill my time with new things to learn to look in the future. So that's kind of how I've adjusted to giving
Mm,
up,
I like that, yeah.
So
So you
it's
have something else to be excited about, to look forward to.
Yep.
That reminds me of I listened to Alex Hormozy, and I don't know if you've, absorbed any of his content, but one of them is he talks about, like, in like, growing his business, he hires, different agencies, so, like, an SEO agency to, come into his company and, implement their strategies. He learns from them, learns what they're doing, learns what works in his business, and then fires them, and then
Makes it better.
yeah, makes it
Yeah,
better,
I
right?
like that. Yeah,
So
because
then you're just using them as, like, that piece to, like, I'm gonna learn from the experts,
yep,
and then I'll implement it and make it better for myself, for my company.
'cause well, I mean, so that's why I don't wanna lose sight of the little kid in me, that's very
Yeah,
important for
yeah.
business because you got all these people that say, "This is how it should be done," but there's a better way to do it, and being a young kid and a dreamer, you still hang on to the wonder, like, "Okay, well, what if I do it this way? And what if I take what they learn and do it a little spin off?" That's how I really think the magic is made, and that's how, like, trendsetters are,
Mhm,
cutting a new path. It's cool, though. That's a great idea, though, that
mhm.
that guy does that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So let's go back to, like, the beginnings of Southern Landscape Solutions. Like, what did you guys do then? And,
uh,
like, what are you doing now?
uh,
And so speaking of dreaming,
yeah,
but did you ever dream that was this your dream, what it is today? Or is it bigger, like, is this the path that you thought you'd be taking? Like, when you started Southern Landscape
yeah,
Solution?
no, wow, yeah, I was excited. I
You said
was
12 years ago, 10 years
Yeah,
ago?
12 years ago. I
Okay.
think I was what would that be? 19? So I was 19, when I started this business.
Little baby.
Yeah, I was making $100 a week. I'd take one trip back to Georgia, my whole paycheck was spent, because gas was it was a miracle gas got paid for with $100. But anyways,
Yeah.
we were cutting grass then, we moved, we have an $800 Dodge. Now our tractors, that's yeah, the tractors are $50,000 we have now, so that's just crazy to think of. Um,
So you started mowing lawns?
yes,
That
we
was, like,
did.
step 1?
We had apartment complexes. We had 60 of them.
Oh, okay.
Cash flow was terrible. I got in because we'd always been good, but we weren't professionals at business. So, like, SOPs and nothing was there. I was doing all the work. Me and my brother and my dad were doing all the work together,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I don't think I knew what direction I wanted to go. Because my mindset was, whatever I'm doing now, there's something meant for me bigger than this,
Mm.
and so I just had this big plan of, just chasing dreams that I couldn't even see, and so, like, I just went after it, and then one day so we're cutting grass, I'm on the truck, I'm just turning 21, I'm like, I'm into partying and stuff, I was everything but, like, growing a business, and then one day it, like, clicked. I think I said on the last podcast, I was going over the Skyway and I heard Les Brown speak,
Yeah.
and he changed my life forever.
Mhm.
And excuse me. And then I just went after it and started like figure networking. I fell into networking. I met individuals. I met a guy that owns B&I Tampa. His name's Spencer Reynolds. He shook my hand across the table and invited me to another networking thing, and I got merged with him. I learned a lot from him. I met Scott Bedell. I met Brad Bashan. I met Michael Carley. I met all these individuals. And so I took exactly what the guy did with the SEO agencies. I
Mhm.
took all these puzzle pieces and started putting them together and then made everything my own. And so I knew one day that there's no market for cutting grass. And also, like
Mm.
my ego, like, I was just a grass cutter. I knew there was more to it than this. So we kind of became a construction company with building out backyards. And that's where the dreaming got to come in. And so now, like going back to God, like now me and my salesman get to witness on these projects. So we bring up God a lot. I'm working on getting stones with Jeremiah 29:11 on them to put them into each one of my project
Mm.
because it's like God knows he has a plan for us. Same thing with the sales and marketing.
Mhm.
So big faith set of fear, but yeah, I still don't know where I'm going, and I just feel like there's bigger things in plan for me and my team,
Yeah.
and so I'm excited to take it to the next level, whatever that is. I
Yeah.
still don't know what I want. I don't wanna be the biggest landscaping company,
Yeah.
I just because that's ego. I just wanna be the most efficient and the best at whatever I do. So now we've started Professionals of Landscaping. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
So that's a group that.
Another networking group.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, we started Professionals in Landscaping. It's designed to help not just landscapers, now we have companies of all different types,
Cool.
but it's helped to run a business so we don't have to fail so much. We pass referrals. We work on public speaking. We're talking next Thursday at Widow Fletcher's in Newport Richey. We're talking about identity and that sorry. We're talking about the identity of our businesses doesn't have to become us. There is a life outside of this, and
Mm.
and I wanna preach to younger business owners, older business owners, just to let them know, there's more important stuff than work out here. We're not
Mhm.
working to live. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I just keep taking these different paths. I just came from Pasco Kids First. Professional landscaping is doing a project out there. So kids that are physically and sexually abused can talk about their problems outside of the building in a safe place of comfort. We're putting a water feature in there. We're putting plants in there. We're putting sun cell shades in there. We're putting a walking path. They'll have a little rock garden where when they graduate from there, like when they go through their counseling, they can put a rock out there and paint it.
Cool.
So like it's just becoming so much more in landscaping. That's why it would be stupid of me to say this is what I'm
Mhm.
chasing,
Yeah.
because I don't know what that is. I'm a
Yeah.
big faith man, so
Yeah.
God's got a bigger plan for me, and I'm just on the highway.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's really important too, because I think, myself, I kinda feel that sometimes, like, you need to have a plan, right? You need to say, like, "This is what I wanna accomplish this year," right? And there's some truth to some of that, like, you need to you need to have, like, some direction, but I like that it's like, I don't know what it's gonna be like in 3 to 5 years from now, and I think that's most people, like, we don't, unless you've been there before and, like, have built a business to, this level.
and done it 6 times. Yeah.
Right, you don't know, right? So you're just like, "Okay, yeah, this is cool, or this sounds cool," right? Or here's my values, right? Here's my culture, here's what I wanna, like, be about, and then, like, what aligns with that as things come into your path, you know?
And I feel I used to want a purple Lamborghini, but now I'm making, yeah, I wanted a purple Lambo, or a camo Lambo. I don't know, but the older I get, the more I feel like God just places this money in my hands, and, like, it's a big responsibility to have a lot of money. And you can either, piss it away or you can do big things with it. You can change the world. And so I feel like God's conditioning me to do something great. I don't know what that is. And maybe I'm doing it now, but I believe that I'll make more money down the road. And what I do with that money is a big test of my character. It's not for another car. It's not to eat better food. It's not to buy more clothes because that stuff will not give you fulfillment. But like we have a big opportunity. the older I get, I see that there's so many people that are like left in the dust that need help. And so I believe that's our opportunity to help them.
Mhm.
There's a scene in X-Men when he's like Wolverine's taking, I think his name's Professor Xavier, and they're driving down the highway, and there's some horses loose, and they're like about to run out in the highway, and then Wolverine's like, somebody should help them, you know? And he's like, well, that somebody's us. And I feel like I have an opportunity for that to be me,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So why not? And we're teaming up with a lot of people that are also helping. So you just need somebody to band it together and just go change the world, you
Yeah,
know?
I like that. I think it was I heard something, I don't know if it was Gary Vee or somebody said something about like, the idea of a leader is to, like you're building this company and then as you're growing, like you're bringing people along with you,
Yes.
right? You're not like leaving people in the dust and just, I'm making as much money as I possibly can. Like, no, you're lifting everybody up else around you,
Yes.
to bring them along too, so
Yep.
they can chase their dreams.
Southern Landscape Solutions, I was looking at it the other day, and if you go back and look at the brand from when we had it to now, I was looking at the brand and the logo, and I was like, this company is, again, chasing $3 million, but it's not for the money. It's not for me to buy or go on more vacation. Now we're feeding these families as Southern grows. You know, we're a team of like 20 people.
Hmm.
And now we're like getting other companies to help us out. Like, so we do paver driveways. If we need a rip out, I have Sure Shot Property Enhancement come and help me with the rip out because they got some bigger machines. They'll throw that up. It makes me more efficient. But now we're starting to help companies that may be slow
Hmm.
be busy. And so this is just a network and it's just so much more than a landscape company. That's why I get super excited
Yeah.
about the growth of it because we're trying to, the community's changing, you know, there's just people being fed. And so it's a really cool thing to watch and evolve.
Yeah. How did you start? Because you started, was it you that started the professional
Oh, professionals landscaping? Yeah.
yeah.
I okay, so mental breakdowns, losing money in my own company. I said, you know, I wonder how many other landscapers are going through this.
Yeah.
How many other businesses are going through this? So why can't we just band together and work on our problems together?
Yeah.
And so I turned around, 6 people were at the first meeting. It was 2020, I think, or COVID-19. It was in COVID 2019. 6 people were at the meeting. Fast forward, we had 90 people at the meeting. So we got 90 people. I'm looking around, I'm like, and so then we had to make it a little tighter and make it where you have to put an application in, you have to apply.
Yeah.
But just the sense of like, there's people out here hurting in business. Why can't we all just come together and help each other?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be competition.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
I love that.
yeah, it's been a blessing. It's cool to see and like, dude, we cry in there. We talk about real issues. Some people in there believe in me more than I believe in myself, and sometimes we all need that,
Mm.
you know? So it's I call it church for landscapers, but again, I keep saying landscapers, there's so many other occupations in there,
Yeah. You
you know?
started with just landscapers or that profession, right?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
a group of my friends that I knew in the business, but now there's paver companies, there's artificial turf companies, there is which I do that too, but a lot of us do the same services, but there's also travel planning, cruise planning. You know, Missy Hoskins is in there. I got a guy that cleans windows. Business is all the same. It's just customers come in and customers leave, you
Mhm.
know, and then the service is what you offer is different, but
Mhm.
every business is the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so it's been going really good.
Yeah. So let's talk about your landscape designing. Like, what do you love about that piece of it?
So,
And
oh,
and when you started, have you always done your landscape designs, or did you have somebody that did it before, or how
oh,
did?
my mom used to do them
Oh, okay.
on a drawing. So she's an artist, and
Oh, cool.
she did landscape design before we even started this company with my dad and his first company. So she used to draw them up, and I have pictures of her drawings. They were beautiful. But then I was like, "Okay, I see these people doing them on computer," and I got a really bad one, like a really bad rendering software, and, you know, then I got a better computer, and I got a better one, and I got a better computer, and I got a better one, and so now we're doing, all digital 3D renderings. It looks super real, high end, super good quality graphics, but my mom did them before. And I didn't really know my plants when I was selling them. I kind of learned them along the way, but now I've been designing. I, I know them like the back of my hand. I don't know any of these plants you got in here, but I'm looking
Well, most of
around.
them are fake. I think
Yeah,
that's the only real one that we have, so.
string of pearls, maybe, but that's like a viburnum
Uh,
or a mangrove.
I have no idea what that
Okay.
is, yeah. I don't know. I went to the store and I was like, "Hey, I need something. There's no light in this place except the fluorescent light
Yeah,
bulbs. What's gonna survive?" And she's like, "This one." I'm
that's
like,
cool.
"Great."
Yeah, that's cool.
I
But
water it like once a month.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Either that or the snake plants. They survive through
Oh, yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been designing and that's really fun. I'm trying to get it where water features shoot water over a walkway and stuff like that. Like I just try to come up with crazy stuff. If I dream it, it can happen.
Yeah.
And I'm chasing some of the big names out there, you
Do
know.
do you do your clients, do they come to you and say, "Here's what we're thinking," and then you just kind of like, you know, make it a reality? Or are you just like, "Here's a blank canvas, this is what we wanna do something in this portion of our yard. What do you got?"
They are most of them have like ideas of what they want and
Yeah.
like they talk about I just need a little bit of information of what do you want to use this area for?
Mm.
What do you like? There's different styles, so you have to be diverse. You can't just throw the same plants in every single design process.
Mhm.
I listen to this landscape architect talk, and he said you got to listen to the property and the land and the project, and there's a time and place for every plant. That's why I like every plant. I used to not like every plant, but there's a time and place for every single plant, even the
Mhm.
ones I don't prefer.
Mhm.
So I always tell my customer, "Hey, I'm gonna run over here to left field. If you have to reel me in, but I'm gonna show you everything based off what you hear and my ideas and your ideas to see this vision come to the end, and I might try to make it a little crazy and out there." So I always push it a little bit, and some customers bite, some don't, and
Yeah.
that's okay, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to make, like, signature pieces. So, there's a guy named Ryan Hughes Designs. He has a
Okay.
couple of, he designs pools and just outdoor living altogether, but his stuff is beautiful, and that's
Yeah.
kinda who I'm chasing, you
Okay,
know?
cool.
I'd like to be a little bit better than him, like the SEO guy, I'd
Yeah.
like to be a little better than him, so that's kinda who I'm chasing. I really respect his work, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool. The We love outdoor space. I mean, growing up here in Florida, like, you're always outdoors. I love the outside. It, like, really changes the space. Like, we did when we bought our first home, I think it was, like, Wilcox N Nursery. Like, we went there, and they had, like, an in-house, like, designer or something, and so they came out and did, like, a landscape design, and we implemented pieces of it and stuff, but, like, the main piece was, like, the little paver patio that we had back there, and we've kinda added stuff, from that and have changed it over the years. But when you have that outdoor space, like, it changes your home, right? Because it's like a separate, like, living area. The kid,
Yep.
if you, especially if you have kids, like, they can go out there and play and enjoy it. It just makes the home like that much more special to me.
Dude, there's just so I mean, like, I don't think when I first got into landscaping that I'd ever be in love with it like I am now,
Mm,
but just the simpleness of, like, I was designing a they have this green matte jade rock that is matte jade rock, and it's handpicked. They find these pieces in the mountains, they take them, they break them down, then they tumble them to get them flatter and smoother, or they polish them. But I set this matte jade green rock actually, the pictures go out today. And then I had like when you're walking up to this walkway before you get to the pool, there's one bottle palm that's kind of cascading over, and like one of the palm fronds are cascading over the walkway, and it's kind of just like it's just setting up for when you get to the main piece. But there's like I call them hype walkways. So you'll hype up this walkway and you'll have this cool design before you get to the main piece. There's just so many little things in these designs and feng shui that you can create these grand places that are beautiful outdoor spaces. But again, this is so much more in landscape. You got to think these people are going to be having weddings here in their
mhm,
backyards when they spend this much money. They're going to have their kids there for memories,
mhm,
families over. This is a place for them to be romantic with each other and couples. And it's just so much more in landscaping. So if you think outside those boxes, I feel like, you just create something beautiful. And again, that's why I don't know with the path that we're on
Yeah.
where we'll end
Where it
up.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm addicted.
Mhm.
I want to be designing all around the world. That's one of my dreams, you
Oh,
know?
cool.
Yeah, I'd love to go around the world. I'd have to learn the different plants, but I feel like that's easy. But yeah, I just want to go like change the world and how landscape is viewed.
Yeah. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's an exciting ride again.
Is there anybody that's doing that right now that's doing like, you know, or they have like their territories like the United States, like we design in this,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm competing with what's that thing on Facebook? It's like the Shrub Hub or something like that. They're like
Uh,
they do a design for $110. It's crazy because it's just a big company producing designs, but I've seen their renderings and their spaces are not matching up with either the land or the budget of the homeowner.
right.
So it's not realistic. So I think that's the only people that do that. But I'd like to actually travel and be with people that are really invested,
Yeah.
make a whole trip out of it, travel the world, bring my family, bring my team. That's like a long-term goal. I don't know
That's
how I'm going to
cool.
get there,
Yeah.
but we will.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but we're going.
Yeah, we slowly but surely.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So what do you do? We were just talking about, before we started recording, golfing and that sort of stuff. What
Yeah.
else do you like to do?
So I love to golf. I got a hurt back right now. I drove by 3 golf courses on the way here, and I'm just like, and I was playing amazing before I got hurt. So, amazing for me,
Shoot. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but, I love to fish, haven't fished in a while. I like to take my family and go do different things. So, like, there's, in Oldsmar, there's, Horsepower for Kids. You ever been over there?
No.
Horsepower for Kids in Oldsmar, like, you cut down and they have all these animals, like camels,
Camels.
kangaroos. You can
What?
pet the kangaroo. They have a zebra. I think that's what a horse zebra is. I don't know what a zorse, either one. Yeah,
Okay.
either whatever you call them. They have
Uh,
a train that goes around you can ride. So we go to stuff like that or the elephants down in Sarasota.
I never heard of that
Those
either.
things are massive, dude. I got so scared standing by him because I'm like, if he swings his head, we're all dead, you know?
Yeah.
But you get to stand and listen, and they'll tell you like facts about the elephants.
Yeah.
Um, and they have like a couple different kind, which I didn't know, or elephants from Asia compared to Africa are totally different.
Yeah.
Um, just taking the family doing new things and letting them see and watching them like grow and see these new experiences. That's what I really like to do.
Yeah. That's cool. It reminds me, we went to Zoo Tampa for the first time with our girls, and my oldest, she was wanting to see, like, but leading up to it, you have the books and they have all the different animals and stuff. And like, she's like, I want to go see the giraffes. Like, I think it was giraffes. Is it the giraffe or a zebra? Either one. They didn't have
Yeah.
them at Zoo Tampa. So we get there and we're like, we're in the little section where the giraffes, I think it was giraffes. Anyway, and they didn't have them there, right? But it was so cool to like, they for the first time too, because they're just seeing these animals in the books,
Yeah.
and they have no idea
And their
how
eyes.
big they are,
Yeah.
right? So they see an elephant for the first time. Like, whoa,
Yeah. It's cool
that's
seeing
cool.
that. Now we
Oh
get to
my
live
gosh,
through our
yeah,
kids, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's I used to live a lifestyle that was not fulfilling. I called it getting lost in the sauce. And
Mhm.
again, I don't think business owners they don't talk about money on their projects enough and how much stuff costs, like online and stuff with their marketing. I love to talk about money. And then
Mhm.
also they don't they don't talk about, just experience stuff for the first time and fulfillment and how they failed in the past. And what I mean by is
Yeah.
like I used to party and there was no fulfillment there. I used to try to buy things to get fulfillment. I don't think we talk about how we made mistakes and how our lives changed because as soon as we can address those issues that rent space in the back of our heads of how we used to be,
Mhm.
I think that's how you get to that next level of success with God, your family, and business.
Do you think that like you have to experience those things like partying to then understand like, oh, this isn't for me? Or can you, I think it's a little bit of both, right? Like, can you learn from other people, right? Like if
Yeah, yeah.
other mentors.
For sure, you can watch them. I think there's a little bit more clarity when you experience yourself and go through it,
Yeah.
because
You know that feeling like, oh, okay, I've done that, been there, done that.
It's
and that's just
not,
not for
yeah.
me.
I went to a bar, like, it's been a while, and I was sitting there trying to recreate those same feelings I had, and I'm sitting there, and it's just depressing looking around. This been years, it's been like 3 or 4 years now, 5 years, but it was just depressing to be in there, and, like, the dim lighting and stuff, and all the lost souls, I feel like. Nothing wrong with drinking and partying, but we all know the people that are still in the bars that used to be in the bars when we were there 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And so, and they're unhappy or they're going through struggles. And it's like, life doesn't have to be like that,
Mhm.
And so when you see that, or, trying to take the money and buy things for fulfillment, when secretly we're not fulfilled, I think once you go through all that and you realize, I think self awareness is the biggest superpower. Yeah, I think people just get lost with self-awareness in today's world. It's so easy to do, and you go in the mall and you look at the stuff on the walls and, like, it's like, "Wow, it's a bunch of crap," you know? "What am I gonna
Mhm.
buy this stuff for?"
Yeah.
I hadn't bought tennis shoes in a long time, and I've been wanting to buy a new pair, but I've been so, like, patient. It's funny how I didn't have money and I'd spend it back in the day, but now I have a little bit of money, I don't spend it. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, there's just so much more to life, and it's hard sometimes to navigate what that is in today's world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and you nailed it. Like self awareness is like that's a superpower, right? If you have that, if you've refined that, I don't know if it's like I don't know if everybody has self awareness or if it's like a muscle that you exercise and it grows.
I think it's a muscle.
Yeah,
Little things along this trip. So I'm a C student, The C
yeah,
students are out here killing it
yeah,
nowadays, like, I'm a C student, and, to almost have a up and coming future $3 million company is amazing to me. That's a blessing because I
yeah,
don't have a business degree.
yeah,
I I've never done it before.
yeah,
I'm out here just shooting from the hip. Let me back up. I've had great business coaches, that have helped me along the way. But again, to even hire them and know to hire them is, it's a
yeah,
shot in the dark.
yeah, yeah.
But
And your ego too. Like you're putting your ego aside, saying like I need help,
yeah, my
right?
business coaches have made me so sharp. I mean, they have
Yeah,
Scott Bedell and Annette Blankenship. They have both built Southern Landscape Solutions through implementation of us, and our team
right.
with them have built Southern Landscape Solutions. But I do believe it's a muscle, self-awareness, because it started when I got in trouble for drinking. And I realized me and my dad's communication was never strong emotionally.
Mhm.
And so I was just chasing fulfillment to communicate emotionally because communication was lacking in my life. I realized that was a big issue, and it transferred into my wife, it transferred into my kids. So those were some things I had to work on. And then
Mhm.
once you work on that and get better, then you realize another thing's wrong
Mhm.
that you can
Mhm.
fix.
Mhm.
And so through self-help, self-awareness, slowly over time, continually working on it, chasing Southern Landscape Solutions, professionals in landscaping for years now, you got to do a lot of work to get to that level. And it's like a faith instead of fear, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you want your business to grow, like the person has to grow, right? The
Has to.
leader has to grow to that level too.
Yes,
Yeah.
has to. I found that when I recruited my sales guy, all business owners wanna say they're the best salesman.
Yeah.
That, "Oh,
Yeah.
I sell the best, I sell the best." I got a good salesman in here, I realized how wrong I was, like, he is just crushing it.
Yeah.
I've learned I'm not good at closing customers, I'm good at closing teammates on why to join this dream that I have, and, like, if you have a dream, come join me, we put our dreams together, I don't know where we'll end up,
Yeah.
but, yeah, we're
It'll be something
blessed.
better.
Yeah, our culture and our operations too is like,
Yeah.
we're getting compliments on leadership skills from our guys, how happy they are, and honestly, it's a pleasure to be around everybody in my business.
Yeah.
Hadn't
That's
always
huge,
been
man.
like
That's
that.
game changer, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's it.
in landscaping,
Because
that's
people then it's like I can't wait to go to work, right? Or it's not even work, right? It's just
no,
like this is just what we do.
yep,
It's what we're doing today, right?
it's so much, yeah, and you're with those people 24/7, so
Yeah.
but yeah,
You might as well enjoy it.
yeah, business is going good. How's real estate going?
It's good, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good.
going good.
Yeah, it's going good. It's been a fun year. The podcast is growing, so I'm excited. And it's cool to have, guests back on for like the, second and third times. And just get an update. Like I've met so many,
Yeah,
great people in our community, kind of like your professional of landscaping, networking group. It's through the podcast I've been able to do so much. So it's cool. And I'm
that's
excited to
awesome.
see where it's gonna go from here. So
Yeah, you've had a lot of great people on here. I
yeah.
watch your episodes, I listen to it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Uh, and also, like, the equipment's changed a little bit since I was last here.
Yeah, I don't think we probably didn't have video.
Nope.
No. Yeah.
It was exciting
So now
getting the
people get to see
video.
your pretty face and
Yeah,
stuff.
thank
Yeah.
you. No, I've been getting new equipment for our videographer. My wife does my videography,
Okay.
so we're working on getting the wheels on that. She just started.
Mhm.
Our video's been a little slow to get out, but we're trying to push it.
Mhm.
It's hard getting them out on all social media. There's so many avenues.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
so
it's
many
tough.
yeah, there's so many big projects. I feel like it's such a task to get there and get the video, and then have it set up like you want it, you
Yeah.
know? The angle, the shots, the lighting.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
There's a book I'm reading. It's called The 12-Week Year. 12-week year. Yeah. But it's about like focusing on it's about doing like the idea is you focus on one or two things to do in 12 weeks. So instead of focusing on like, here's my goals for 12 months, there's not a lot of urgency with that 12-month goal because there's so much time. So 12 weeks, shorter period of time. You can't do as much in 12 weeks as you can in 12 months. But, each 12 weeks, like you're focusing on like one or two things and you just accomplish more when you do that, I think, right? So that you know, what you said about like there's so much to do kind of reminded me of that. It's
I
like,
like that.
you got to hone in on, which is, I mean, it's hard for business owners, hard for me to say like, okay, I'm just going to focus on, these two pieces or these two things that are going to help my business in the long run, and everything else I'll wait till later on,
Yep.
right? Because you want to try to do it all.
Yeah, as quickly as possible. I think it's better to get it done faster than people that get ready to get ready to get ready for a perfect plan is
Yeah,
that's not it
yeah.
just does not like I feel like those people now maybe some of
That
them
used
do,
to be me. Yeah,
you
it was
never
like,
get anything done.
no, no, no.
Yeah, I got some names I could mention, but yeah, I just shoot from the hip, and I've
Yeah,
learned I can perfect it along the way.
yeah.
Some of those things you can't do. My business coach would get on to me about that. She she set up a plan for us to be here, um, in business world for Southern Landscape Solutions if we implemented each step, and I really saw the growth by doing that. Now that was I'm glad she did that. You can't shoot from the hip from that.
Right, right, right.
But just like marketing plans or video, like people are like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get a video out. Why not today?"
Yeah, right.
And that's a
You
game
got a
changer.
camera in your pocket. Go
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
You're automatically doing more than the other so, like, landscapers, I see a couple of them starting to do more video, but earlier in the early ages, by just getting it out there first, you were separating yourself from the pack.
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
video's starting you see a lot of companies now doing video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have to.
If you're not doing video, you're
Falling behind.
getting left behind. So,
Yep.
yeah. Well, awesome, Drake. This has been fun. Again,
Thank you,
man.
buddy.
Thanks
Thank you
for
for
being
having
here.
me.
Yeah.
It's always an honor to be asked to be on somebody's podcast, especially one that you've already been on to, so I know I didn't mess it up the first time that bad, but no, I'm excited, man, and again, I'm excited to see y'all grow Palm Harbor International, hopefully one day down the road, you
There we
know?
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of that on the way. Stupid dad joke. I'll never tell it again.
We'll we'll start doing guests from like all over the country and all over
Yeah,
the world, right?
that's
That'll be
sick, dude.
yeah.
One day.
One day.
Yep. You're
That'll
gonna
happen.
have a I don't know, it's a major league baseball player on here or somebody like that. Is there any from in the area?
I mean, there's some that I'm sure live here, right? Because of spring training at the Phillies that have spring training here. So they might live here during
Yep,
the
Chris Godwin.
springtime.
I did Chris Godwin's drainage work over at, the Bucks player. I
Oh
did his
yeah.
drainage
Did
work.
you?
Yeah, I did his drainage work. We nicked his gas line.
Oh
Thank God
geez.
his house didn't blow up. My buddy fixed it right away, but yeah, man, I appreciate having me on here, Donnie. It's always an
Yeah.
honor, especially when you have so many other professionals that have been on here.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.